The update is that the lawyers to Billard they filed a bail application. The police has also filed a counter affidavit to oppose his bail. And the lawyers have indicated this morning that they have also filed further and better affidavits. So that is the status of the case. But for those who want to know the background to why it took this long, as I mentioned when I last met you at the airport, this was timed to coincide with the Easter holidays. Are you getting me? So that Billard will not get a quick date. And after the Easter holidays, all the judges went on vacation and they are resuming today. But resuming today doesn't mean that they will take cases from today. So from today, they will now start giving dates for their cases. So we are waiting for that court to give a date for the bail application to be heard. Unfortunately, and I mean this unfortunately, the police filed a counter in a case that shouldn't have come to court in the first place. And that is why we are suspicious that even when you have a new police inspector general, they are not different from the old ones. Because they are just all part and parcel of the old system of oppression. So that's where we are. But I also need to report to you that Billard is doing well. He's not sick, and he will be out, and he's ready and prepared mentally for whenever he's out. So that's just another update from Kuje Prison. So yes, and to let you know that there's no great person in the world that somehow don't taste life in prison. Mandela went there, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Abiola. I am still going back. It's just a matter of time. There are 3 places for freedom fighters: prison, exile, and the grave. So don't let anybody deceive you that if you are doing what is right by your society, that the system will just overlook you and not come after you, and you can end in any of these 3 places. So, but as good people, we play by the rules, but bad people create the rules by which they play. So that's why we shouldn't be having these debates at all in the first place. Somebody can just send somebody to prison and be bragging as if he has a police and in the back of Nigeria police force. But that's what they turned the Nigeria police force to, which is what we have said we must fix in our lifetime. So that's I don't know what happened, and you should ask the Inspector General of Police. But if it is true, I think the Inspector General of Police is probably trying to prevent us from discussing the fact that his tenure expires today as a policeman. So maybe that's what is panicked about. But my understanding is that he's entitled to meet with anybody he wants. And he met with Femi Falana last week, and the civil. So, but if he had a secret meeting because of me, I think that's waste of time. It's not going to disturb the work that we are doing. If you like, go and meet with Tinubu. Whenever the time comes, we will do what we have to do. So, but what we have said and will keep saying is that nobody in this country should be oppressed because other people have connections with security agencies. Even Tinubu brought me to court for calling him a criminal. He has connection with the DG of DSS too. But when we asked the DG, did Tinubu tell you to do this? He said no. Nobody sent him. He's just doing his work. So you can go and meet anybody you want. It's your constitutional right. But if it is to meet somebody to do something harm to me, it's not you will not be the first and you will not be the last. That's something that is done. I think you guys are aware of a guy who I bailed out of prison Chigorom Ijele, Ofegbu is his last name, who said he was contracted to kill me in 2022 or so. And he wasn't lying. The person who contracted him confessed to me and Deji that they have contracted people to kill us during Buhari's time. But since then, have there not been other contracts? Of course, Wike contracted people. His spokesperson, that boy or man, also contracted another person to go after, my family, my children. So they will always, as long as we do this, as long as we stand on the side of justice, and as long as we are up against a system that is not working in the interest of the people, they must connive, collude, they must conspire against those of us who are doing what is just. But what thing we must tell them is that every lie has an expiration date. Yeah? And the IGP must know that the expiration of his tenure is today. So we will take it from there. So you can do as many meetings as you can. What we believe in is what we believe in, and that's the position we'll take, yes.
What's your opinion about the latest scandal of the chairman being a supporter of APC?
I don't know why people, what I say, much ado about nothing. Who do you expect him to support? Is that not the person that appointed him? Until we fix our system and have an independent way of appointing an INEC chairman, the president is not going to appoint his enemy to become an INEC chairman. He wants to win election at all costs. He has the chance to appoint his next INEC chairman. It's just that you go to the Premier League and you ask Arsenal to appoint a referee. Would they go and appoint the enemy? They will appoint somebody who can help them, who can overlook a lot of infractions. So that's I don't know why not, even the people who are accusing him of appointing an INEC chairman that is in his favor, they are also proposing that you appoint their own person to become INEC chairman so that the person can favor them. So the solution is not to worry too much about who he has appointed. It's for us to put a strong fight to ensure that during elections are held, whomever is the winner of the election is announced as the winner of the election. And not to waste our time on, okay, if you find out this whole noise they are making about the INEC chairman, I'd already spoken about it. I told you that his chief security officer was appointed by somebody in the villa. His spokesperson was this was a month ago. When I went to meeting with him, I came out and told you that this man cannot be trusted. So you have just now found your voice and you are shouting, oh, this man is on Twitter, he is supporting Tinubu. The people that are supporting Tinubu on Twitter are less dangerous than the ones that are not on Twitter. Yes, those ones, the central bank governor, is he on Twitter? And he's the 37th governor for the election. Yes. So sometimes we just need to be serious. Yes.
Yes, when there are affections like this that involves your voice against private institutions or individuals, we know that the issues against persons,
yes,
what are the issues with criminal justice that are actually confronting this enormous case?
Is principalities. And principalities involved in Nigeria police that allowed itself. And it's just gut-wrenching that Nigeria police will go to Anambra to arrest somebody because of banters that were carried out online and fly the person to Abuja across state lines. Are you saying that the Imo State Police Commissioner cannot handle a case of copyright infringement? There's a legal department in the Imo State Command. You understand? And I'm telling you again, the purported copyright infringement does not even exist as a charge. This is one of the most ridiculous charges I've ever seen. You cannot copyright the head of an animal and claim it's your own. But let's assume, without considering that you have a copyright claim on it, the person or the organization to prosecute that is the National Copyright Commission. They have a prosecutor for fighting against copyright infringements. Because the law with copyright is that the moment you create something is copyrighted. But the moment we go legal it changes the game. They will be asking you, because you have to pay the copyright commission to copyright things, even though it's your right. Then, if you are talking about copyright, that's another issue. Then there's trademark, and there are things you cannot trademark in the world. Yes, they are generic, you can't trademark them. If you then have to trademark it, then you have to go to the international body that is in charge of trademarks. So people have asked that, I've seen arguments that, oh, what about Apple? It's trademarked. It is Apple that somebody has beaten that is trademarked. The Apple itself is not trademarked, because you cannot trademark. That's why the people who trademark Apple have to bite it before they trademark it. Because Apple as a fruit cannot be trademarked. You understand? You can't trademark an animal called Ratel. It doesn't exist in the trademark registry. And if anybody trademark it, it cannot be as it is. It has to be that maybe you bite the ear of the Ratel off, so that or the one without teeth.
What are the things that need to change in the criminal justice system?
Everything has to change in our criminal justice system. The judiciary is in a mess, and I'm glad that the Nigeria Bar Association president has woken up finally. He's now talking about judges interfering in cases, internal affairs of parties. That was what we were talking about when Wike brought us to this court to try to hijack, but that time they kept silence because it didn't affect their favorite candidate. They didn't care. But now, we said it even then that this thing that is happening to us will get to everybody. It's the same thing we are saying about what has happened to Billboard. If you let it pass, it will come out, they will come after every one of you. And they will get to a point where they will not even come to the judiciary anymore. They will be coming to your houses with machete to kill you because you are opposed to, a cult personality. You don't live in a country where you are afraid to speak up because somebody has the police behind him or the army. Because all this thing has to do with relationships that people don't understand. All the army people, police people, we know the game. All right. Yes. But we are not going to live in a country where another person cannot freely speak their mind and sleep at home. That is why Tinubu brought me to court. I spoke my mind about what is true about him, instead of him to face up to it and admit that he has lived a criminal life in the past. You are asking the DSS to bring me to court. DSS gets to court, bring a fake witness. We are interrogating the witness. You say the interrogation or the cross-examination is too much. Judge asks lawyer to kneel down in this country in front of him. Is that the judiciary of the future? So, but the sacrifice that has to be made, and this is where I will end it, except you have other question, has to be made by some of us. If I'm the one that will be used, that will be cancelled, killed, or eviscerated, or condemned, I will offer myself so that nobody in this country suffer this kind of injustice in the future. It is what I did when I was in the university. It is what I did with Egbetokun. Everybody was saying at that time, oh, he has started his tenure. If you like, go and die. His tenure is going to end in 2050. We told you that if you fight, you will win. If you don't fight, you have lost. So that's our position on this matter. Yeah.
Looking forward to 2027 general elections.
Yes.
What if INEC actually declared Tinubu as the winner? So are you going to accept the result?
If Tinubu is declared a winner after a free, fair, and credible election, we will have no option than to accept it. We accepted. We didn't participate in June 12 election, but when the result came out and we judged that it was fair and fair, we accepted it and queued behind the winner, who was never declared. But what must not be lost on us before you take my statement out of context is that Tinubu can never, by nature, character, and by design, operate a free and fair election. It is not in his DNA. So, perish the thought that Tinubu will just sit down somewhere and we allow free and fair election to happen. The only way free and fair elections can happen in Nigeria is to be ready for a revolution at the ballot or at the barricade. That is the only way you can have free and fair. Nigeria has not had free and fair elections since June 12, 1993. Every other election is, selection. And that is what you must prepare yourself for. But if INEC wants to give Tinubu the next presidency without election, through selection, they must be ready for Nigerians. That's what we are saying. Now,